Chelsea Football Club have started their search for a brand new manager. Mauricio Pochettino's job is under very extreme scrutiny. He is a manager that many Chelsea fans want out the door. The cowardly act, the poor leadership during the extra time period of the Carabao Cup final, I think is the final straw for many fans. Some that were backing have completely turned their backs. They sit 11th in the Premier League. The football is inconsistent at best and awful at worst. The lack of development of so many young, talented players is absolutely palpable. And the report here from Samuel McBell states that Chelsea have started looking at replacements for Pochettino in case they decide to part ways. Now, let's cut through the bullshit. In case they decide to part ways, you don't start looking at replacements if you believe you're sticking by somebody. If you believe in that individual, if you are going to give them time regardless of results, you don't start looking at replacements. This is a nonsense. They, for 2 or 3 months now, they've been publicly backing him and saying he's not under pressure. Those public statements, those briefings of the media tell you that he is under huge pressure indeed. Now, I understand the notion that Chelsea have to stick with the manager. They have to be consistent, but it has to be the right manager. It cannot be the wrong individual that they put consistency towards. Because a poor manager who's doing a bad job, if you give him time, all you're going to get is consistently poor results. And that is a situation they find themselves in. As you can see with the report below here, it says there are now significant doubts over whether Chelsea are prepared to continue their partnership with Pochettino, leading towards this season's climax. Pressure is mounting on the coach. There is some thought that he could be removed before the end of the season. And that little moment when he went up to pick his loser's medal at Wembley, the 6th straight time for Chelsea, I will add, where he ignored Todd Boehly. Some will say it's an oversight. Some will say he didn't see him and it's a nothing burger. But for me, it's of paramount importance. It shows you there is a breakdown in relationship. I think the manager is frustrated at elements of the way Chelsea have been run, and that is absolutely correct. At the same time, I think he's also embarrassed. He's embarrassed because he came into such a fanfare and hype. Ever since leaving Tottenham, especially the British media, the British pundits, they just praise this guy. Where most football fans look at him and say, good coach, average manager. Will make you play good football, but won't win you the trophies. But at Chelsea, it's been a disaster. They're not playing good football, the lack of development of young players, and their inability to win. And they're sitting 11th in the table after multiple million of pounds of investment. And I think the cherry on top of the cherry on top of the icing, on top of the cake, was that cowardly bottle job performance in the extra time period of the Carabao Cup. I think Chelsea fans should be jumping for joy at this news. Yes, the following up appointment needs to be the next appointment needs to be good. They need to get it right. It's important they don't make another mistake. But for me, keeping Pochettino, the phrase I would use is throwing good money after bad. Now, I want to direct you all to the QR code you can see on your screen now. Go and subscribe to The Squad. It's a brand new podcast that is launching very, very soon with myself and a huge YouTuber that I'm so excited to be working with. Go and get yourself subscribed to that channel now ahead of time. Scan the QR code or click on the link in the description below. But I want to take a little look at what Gary Neville has had to say about the situation with Poch and Chelsea.
24 hours or so to reflect. What do you think?
I feel bad now. No, look, I'm not going to sit here and say that it was an instinctive commentary moment because, I mean, it was instinctive because I didn't know what was going to happen in extra time. But, you know, Peter, I think, did about 35 seconds after the goal, and Cara did about 25 seconds. And I was getting angrier. If you hear my commentary during the extra time, I was getting angry with Chelsea from the first minute of extra time to the, 2 minutes to go, because I could smell the fear in Chelsea from the very first minute of extra time when I said, why are they sitting off them? Why are they letting these young lads grow? Cara's just mentioned it. And then Jurgen Klopp started to grow. And then if you remember, there was a chorus, there was a song that Liverpool fans were singing for about 5 minutes because they could smell the blood, they could smell the fear in those blue shirts. And I got to half time of extra time and I said, somehow Mauricio Pochettino or those players have got to work out that if they got into this position at the start of the season and told themselves they've got 15 minutes against the Liverpool team that have only got 2 players that would make their starting 11 normally, which are Diaz and Van Dijk, that they would snap their hand off, grab this opportunity, don't have regrets. And I was just from a playing point of view, the idea of a team not seizing the day, seizing the moment, grabbing this opportunity, grabbing the ball back, all those things we say to each other in lives as young people, that we want a team to grab this moment. Chelsea shrunk, and I use the word shrunk, and maybe bottle is a very strong word.
No, bottle isn't a strong word. They did shrink. They did bottle it. They did not seize the opportunity. And Gary Neville is absolutely right to stand by what he has said. Now, he does go on in this video, I think, to say that he doesn't want this to stick. He doesn't want the name to stay forever. And I understand that, because that's not what his intention was. But Gary Neville shouldn't be forced into apologizing. Chelsea fans, any that are in their feelings about this, need to wise up, because you're hurting your own team. You're hurting your own club by not calling this out. It was cowardly. It was absolutely cowardly to not go for it. You could have lost on penalties anyway. You could have lost with a counter-attack goal. But imagine not trying to win it when for the last 20 minutes of the 90 minutes and then for extra time, you had the more experienced and better players out there. And do you know what? Half the players that were coming on, the football world didn't even know. It's not even like these youngsters that are currently playing are hyped up individuals. They're expected to go on to the biggest and best things. I'm going to make a bet with you now. I bet at least 2 of those young players that came on, and I bet at least 3 or 4 that were included on the pitch or on the bench, don't have Premier League careers. That shows you the difference in quality. So I think Gary Neville's right to call it out. Chelsea are right to be looking beyond this manager. More needs to be fixed at Chelsea. Let me just reiterate this again for everybody in the back. It isn't just about sacking the manager. That isn't by itself going to fix Chelsea. Some of these players need to be moved on. They need to buy more experience. There's no doubt about it. There's lots of things that need to be fixed, but they have to move this manager on. And I think this is very, very positive news indeed for Chelsea. For some reason, this video is not playing audio. I'm going to try and re-upload the video again. I wanted to play this because this was a really interesting piece of content that Monday Night Football did last. I think we have this working now.
Mainu here, who's been fantastic since he came in. But the problem I have, and this is not a criticism of him, what are his instructions before the game? So this is straight from the kickoff, and he is not sure whether he should be closing the holding midfield player or looking after the number 10. Watch him. Look, he's caught between. He's going there. Should I go back in there? Straight from the kickoff. You should know your job straight from the kickoff, and that's down to the coaching staff. Look, he's constantly checking, and the ball goes out of play. But 20 seconds into the game against Fulham, this already is the big problem you've got, and it's been the problem for Manchester United all season.
It absolutely is. And it's an area of the pitch that Erik ten Hag is ignoring. It's a part of the pitch that he doesn't see as a major problem, but it's a glaringly obvious one. It is as big as the nose upon the end of my face. And I've seen people tweet and defending it, saying there should be shadow covering. I'm actually not too sure what shadow covering is. It's probably like a colloquial term for something we all know. But at the end of the day, he is not addressing it. And some people will blame the players. Oh, they're not understanding the instructions. They're out of position. I don't think they are. When you have the same problem, irrespective of who the starting midfield players are, there's an issue. We saw from the first game against Wolves right up until this game against Fulham, we're consistently exposing these huge spaces. A lot of people blame Casemiro, said that his legs were gone. We're now seeing it happen to young Mainu. Even with Amrabat, Amrabat's coming to this team with a lot of excitement from fans. He was so pressure resistant in Serie A, so pressure resistant internationally. He's come in and been. He's not the fastest player in the world. He's being exposed as well. And I don't think it's about the midfield players when it comes to these holes. It's the instructions and what they are told to do. And this is one of the reasons why, for me, I think Erik ten Hag is already gone. I think Erik ten Hag already knows that he is going to be forced out of Manchester United. He's going to be fired by the new powers that be from Ineos. And I can't see how he survives. And the issue that I have here is We can all see these problems. They're being highlighted here. And I don't think they're necessarily hard to address and hard to fix. A couple of days work on the training ground and the right instructions to create a situation where we are not, look how much space we're leaving. And we're doing that all the time. And I know a lot of people think that with a good structure and with better players, Ten Hag will improve. I think you're deluding yourselves. I think you're deluding yourselves. We are losing games because of this system. It isn't even because the players are not good enough. No wonder so many individual players in this Man United team look so bad, that they don't look engaged. They're being told to play this. Now, rarely do I defend the football players in these circumstances, but I get it. I understand it. This is an absolute disgrace. But I'd love to get your views and I'd love to get your opinions on this, people. Make sure like buttons are being smashed. Sorry about the audio mistake earlier on, but hopefully that glitch sorted itself out. But I want your thoughts on this glaringly obvious situation with Man United and, of course, the Poch one. Check out the squad as well. Scan that QR code you can see on the screen right now. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you all soon. Peace.